Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to episode number 39 of Beer vs. Ivy, the home stretch. I'm your co-host, Sang brought to you with the best co-host in all of this land of the Mississippi. Switching up a little bit, Mr. Jackson Gross. Jackson, it's Monday. We're not that late. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. All things considered, it has been a wild couple of weeks. I think I said this last time when we were doing the trade deadline special that I feel like 4 months has happened in the last 2 weeks. So my brain is very scattered, but I'm here. I'm ready to talk some baseball. Bit of fun personal news. I'm actually going to be going to a comic book convention next
Oh,
weekend.
there you
And
go.
I bought myself a nice little cheapy Anakin Skywalker costume. I'm going to bring my little cardboard lightsaber that I put together. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's my second
There
year
we,
going, so I'm
there we
excited. I'm
go.
excited to
There
do
we
that.
go.
Just look at all the pretty lightsabers and not buy any of them because they're all $500+ and that's not in the budget right now, unfortunately.
As someone who has a very expensive lightsaber, I can confirm they're very expensive, and they're not worth it.
No?
Me personally, I kind of wish I didn't buy it, but
Where
it's all
did you
right.
get yours? I just off topic. I was been trying to research good places to go and places not to go.
Disney,
Oh no, dude!
yeah,
Oh
from the legit very very cool shop, yeah.
no, that
But I
like
have it.
I
But I have it. It's cool. It's cool that I have it. But I wish I didn't get it.
yeah. From the people I've researched and I've talked to, it's like Disney is like the worst place to go to. Like they are the lowest quality one. So I'm sorry Disney swindled you out of more money. So
They did.
um oh, and also other bit of sucky personal news. I had a recall on my car, and so now I can't charge it until they get a battery fix for it, which may not come until July of next year. So,
Hmm.
so
That's
that
not
that was
great.
fun. That was
That's
fun to
not
deal
great.
with. I
That's not
mean,
great.
the temporary fix for it was free, so I didn't have to pay for it, which is nice. But
There we go.
adulting, totally don't hate it.
Oh yeah. No. Let's.
Let's move on from that. Outside of Disney swindling you, how are you doing, Sai?
Honestly, we're doing not that bad. It Happy August to everybody. It does not feel like it's August, but it is August, and that's crazy to say because this month is about to be crazy for me. So that's cool. It's great, but we're doing not bad. I worked. How many games I worked last week? I worked 3 games last week for the Chiefs, which was a decent little. We had a decent little week.
Mhm.
Team still sucks, but it's all right. We got some new guys up, so it's cool to watch the newbies. I'm going to a game as a fan on Friday with my grandpa
Ooh.
because he wanted to come with. He was like, "I want to go to a game," and I was like, "I'll come with." And now we're going, so that's cool. Don't have to work a Friday night either, which is always nice. But we're doing good. I went mini golfing not yesterday, but 2 days ago, and my mini golf game needs some work. But also, we were all just messing around and not really like keeping score. Like if we were keeping score, I
Right.
probably would have played better. But the golf game was nice. But that's okay. I don't really got anything else. I can't. Nothing else has happened this week. But we're good. We're good overall.
Well, I hope you and your grandpa have a good time. Hopefully, Peoria gets you a dub. That'd be nice. That's always nice to see
Hopefully,
dubs.
hopefully.
So,
I'm not expecting a dub, but I'm gonna cheer for a dub.
wasn't one of the guys who was in Peoria? Didn't he just get called up to Double A or something? I think I saw that.
We've had a
Or am I
bunch of
thinking?
guys get called up. We had a bunch of guys get called up Double A already. So
Oh, okay.
probably,
I thought you
maybe.
made like specific mention of one, wasn't it? Did the pitcher you write about get called up? Am I remembering
Oh yeah, he
correctly?
got called up like a month and a half ago.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Shout out Quinn,
Anywho,
I miss you. Anyways, yeah.
let's go ahead on this. This is like the first like normal episode we've had in like 2 weeks, which is kind of crazy to think
Mhm.
about. So let's get back to the bread and butter. Let's get back to the bread and butter. Divisional storyline time. We'll go ahead and start out as we always do with the AL East. It's a dead heat between two of baseball's best. The Yankees and Orioles are tied atop the division with a 67-46 record, tying them also for the best record in baseball.
Cleveland's
Because
also tied for the record, but I don't think of Cleveland as a
they are
as on their level.
technically ahead because they have 3 less losses.
Go
Or no,
figure.
2 less losses, excuse me.
Yeah.
I see math.
Where did we do math here, guys, too? You didn't know that, though.
But yeah, this has been everything we could have hoped for in terms of a divisional race between the Orioles and Yankees this year, and it's going to be a fun last ride through the rest of the regular season.
Yeah, no, I agree. So I hate that I'm saying this, but there's definitely at this point in the year in this race, there's a team I'm gonna give the edge to, and they are the team that's on my hat right now. This hurts to say, but I really think, ow, I just hit my hand. I really think the Yankees are going to like. I think they're going to be the one that takes the division, and you're probably looking at me. You're like, "There's no way he's saying that." The Orioles lost Jordan Westbrook, and that's going to hurt their team more than they think. If they can still compete and stuff, that's awesome. Like Jackson Holiday's back. He's actually hitting the ball.
Shout out
Still
to Zach Campbell not getting his home run ball.
First bomb on Utah Street too. Like his legit. Kobe Mayo's also up on the roster right now, but he's not doing great. And now they're going to have to find a solution at third base. I think they should just roll with Ramon Urias full time, but they're not going to do that because Brandon Hyde's a good manager, but I mean, whatever. Corbin Burns is still him. The pitching staff. I mean, Trevor Rogers got lit up his first start. Everybody saw that coming. So it's just there's too many like yes, the Orioles are good. Yes, the Orioles are gonna make the playoffs. But right now, there's just too many question marks for me to confidently say I think I'm gonna give them the edge. Yankees are at least a little bit more consistent. Yes, they have their question marks. Gleyber Torres, get him out of the Bronx. He needs to go to Oakland to learn his lesson. Like Jazz isn't playing third base. Jazz isn't playing third base. At some point, that's gonna backfire. Like.
Nah, like there's a new worst punishment team. Send him to the White Sox.
We'll talk about them.
Yeah,
but Gleyber doesn't deserve the White Sox. Okay, he actually might figure it out with them. I don't think he'll figure it out if he goes to Oakland. Also, he was still on the bench in Oakland because guess what? He would have to play in Oakland, third base, because he ain't playing shortstop. He's not playing second base. So
yep, yeah, I agree that I would probably give the edge to the Yankees, but not for the like player personnel. I'm more looking at their schedule. They got some tough opponents still on deck. I mean, Toronto and Tampa Bay are always going to be tough. It's divisional. Washington has been very sneaky good this year throughout most of it. They just took a series from the Brewers this last week, which we'll get into later. Then they got a 4-game set against Boston, on the road against the Mets before 4 games against Houston, 3 games in Los Angeles, get a reprieve with Chicago and Colorado, and then a whole bunch of divisional games. And then they have a series in the Bronx at the end of September that I personally think is probably going to determine the division at that point, if it already hasn't. Whereas the Yankees, yes, you still have Cleveland and Kansas City still left, but the Yankees schedule looks a lot easier. They have a series against the White Sox, the Rockies, the Nationals, the Rangers, Oakland, Pittsburgh. They end the year at home against Pittsburgh. So I personally think the Yankees are going to just have an easier road to holding on to the division. Would I love to see the Orioles win the East again? Absolutely. But it's, like I said, it's going to be a much tougher road for the Orioles to hang on.
I agree. Off-topic news. I'm kind of mad now. The Royals just called out Jack Caglione to high A Quad Cities. The Quad Cities was just in Peoria. I was this close to seeing Jack Caglione with my own eyes. This close.
Damn.
That sucks. It's okay. I think I'm seeing Walter Jennings this week, so it's okay. Yeah.
But you know what sucks more than not seeing Jack Caglione in person? Being a Chicago White Sox fan and playing on the Chicago White Sox. A truly historically bad team. The White Sox have lost 20 straight games, the longest losing streak since the 2021 Baltimore Orioles. For the fans at home, the longest modern losing streak in baseball is 23 games by the Philadelphia Phillies. I believe the longest losing streak in all of baseball is held by the Cleveland Spiders. Let's see. Yes, 26 games back in 1889. 24 years after the Civil War.
I've said this once and I've said this again. I'm going to keep this. I rambled about the White Sox great. I actually just went on an insane White Sox ramble on the main show on Thursday. But this team doesn't deserve happiness. This team does not deserve anything good and great to ever come to their lives ever again. They've had one long losing streak already, and they said, hold on, let me top that. Now they're currently on a 20-game losing streak. The craziest thing is this losing streak can almost legally drink. This losing streak is older than I am.
It can join the military, drive a car,
it can vote. It can go buy a lottery ticket. At this point, they should go buy a lottery ticket. Maybe then they'll actually get some goddamn good luck coming their way. But this is the craziest thing to me. You look at the players they traded deadline and look how happy they are. Look how happy Tommy Pham is on the Cardinals. Look how happy Eloy Jimenez is. The saddest man in the world, some are calling him, is now toothy grin, figuring out the Orioles.
Did he go 4 for 4, like 3 for 4 in his first appearance?
I think he might have. He was nasty. Eloy's the agent. That's awesome for the Orioles. But
yep.
And then you look at the sad old South Side. You look at the names around that team. Oh, you kept Robert. You kept Garrett Crochet. You're probably training them both in the offseason. Who else is on this team that's notable? No one. You're telling me that Nicky Lopez and Chris Flexen and an overpaid Andrew Benintendi are going to win you baseball games? Clearly not. You want to be on this losing streak if that was the case.
Gavin Sheets,
Lennon Sosa, Corey Lee, John Rebbia.
Is Larry Garcia still around somewhere?
No. Sadly,
I was being sarcastic, but yeah.
Sadly not. He'll find his way back, but it's crazy. This team is quite literally all the way from the management to the 26 man on that roster, bad.
Yep. And you know what the funny thing is? Here's what they have in their next 4 games for them potentially to break the record. They have a 3-game set on the road in Oakland where they're going to have J.P. Spears, Ross Stripling, and Estes pitch for Oakland. And then they're going to try and stop the streak, if that happens, with Garrett Crochet against the Cubs on a Friday night in Wrigley against Jameson Taillon.
Oh my. That's going to... You're telling me God, that's gonna be the first sellout crowd that the White Sox see all year. That's crazy.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed. And then their Saturday is on Fox with Justin Steele against Chris Flexen. So, and then they played the Yankees. There's a real chance that by, let's see, they're at 20 games right now, that on August 14th, we could see baseball history as the White Sox would be the first team to lose 27 straight games.
I, no words. No words. I just.
Or excuse me, it'd be August 13th.
It don't even matter. It don't even matter what date it is. This team's gonna still be losing. You're telling me that Pedro Grifol can get that team to win a baseball game? No. No. That whole front office needs to get fired the offseason. Manager, hitting coach, pitching coach, Chris Getz again, and even fire Chris Getz for a third time if you could.
Bring back Rick Hahn just to fire him again.
And then bring back Chris Getz to fire him a fourth time. Yeah, fuck Chris Getz. You don't deserve happiness. I hope your pillow is warm.
Oh, man. And just imagine, 3 years ago, this team won the AL Central and won a playoff game against the Houston Astros.
Those Houston Astros, by the way, the ones that were banging the trash cans.
This was after. This was 2021.
I still believe they were doing it. I'm sorry. I don't trust a single thing on that team.
Fair enough. That is totally fair. But
on the topic of the ALS, though, because the White Sox don't deserve this much screen time.
Yes.
Sorry. You have a better team. We'll talk about you more. AL West. How will the AL West race finish? Seattle still holds a one-game lead over those pesky Houston Astros, who sit 5 games behind the wild card spot. I think this is really interesting for 2 reasons. One, the fact that Houston has found his way to try to push for the division race. Second reason, though, is only one team is going to come out of the the AL West. Unless something fluky happens.
The Royals and Twins and Red Sox would have to fall off hard.
Mm-hmm. But I'm still sticking with my guns. Seattle's got this in the bag, especially with Randy and Justin Turner and who's in that bullpen now? Yimi Garcia in that bullpen. If you're telling me that Houston's going to win after their dumb trade done that they had, I'm sorry. I can't say that. So let's go Mariners.
Yeah, I'm curious. I haven't taken a look at their schedules yet, but let's just see. Let's take a look at what the Mariners and Astros have cooking to end the season. Let's see. The Mariners have Detroit, the Mets, Detroit again, Pittsburgh, the Dodgers on the road, Giants, Tampa Bay, and then they have a 9-game road trip between the Angels, 10 games, Oakland and St. Louis, San Diego, Texas twice, the Yankees, and then their second to last series is going to be on the road against Houston before they end the year at home against Oakland. While the Astros get Texas, they have a series against the White Sox. Ooh. Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you. Astros have a rough schedule. 2 series against the Red Sox, a series against the Rays, 4 against Baltimore, 3 against Philly, 4 against Kansas City, 3 against Arizona, 3 against San Diego, and 3 against Cleveland after they play the Mariners on the road. Yeah, this is the first time I've looked at their schedule in a while. That is brutal. And everyone complains about how inconsistent the Mariners can be, I think the Mariners, between these two, have been the more consistent team, although it feels like that battle of mid meme where it's like, yes, this team has been inconsistent, but this team has been very much more inconsistent. So yeah, I was talking with somebody the other day, Sophia, actually. Shout out to one of our new writers, Sophia. And she was telling me, she's like, I have no idea what's gonna happen. What was the exact word she said? They're good, but they do questionable things sometimes. I think that's a perfectly adequate way to describe the 2024 Houston Astros. So, shout out to Sophia. Maybe we'll have her on next week if she wants to come on. We'll see. Have her talk about the Astros. But anyway, yeah, I think the Mariners pretty much have this, but I still think it'll probably come down to that series in Houston at the end of the year.
No, I definitely agree with you. Yusei Kikuchi, I hope Houston treats you well for the 2 months. And Alex Bregman, you suck. Anyways.
But you know what doesn't suck, Sai?
Not sure, actually. What doesn't suck?
Having good home insurance.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent is Building Block Insurance Group. Get a quote today at 704-464-4544.
Erie Insurance.
And when you call our guy Jeff Portepny at 404-464-4544 or at jeff@mybebig.com, let him know that Third Down Thursdays and Beer versus Ivy sent you. And that, what's a good one? Man, I'm blanking on one. You got one, side?
And that Jeff could have gave the Toronto Blue Jays a better trade package for Yusei Kikuchi. There we go.
Or that he could have negotiated a better deal for the Astros to get Yusei than Dana Brown.
There we go.
Look at that. Shout out Jeff, as always.
Shout out Jeff. Indeed.
So from a divisional race that is very, very close, we move to the National League Wildcard and a team absolutely fighting for their playoff lives. It's the good old Grimace Mets, the New York Mets. Right now, they sit a game and a half out of the last 2 playoff spots behind the Diamondbacks and Padres. The Mets do have 3 very winnable series in their next 4 with the Rockies, Athletics, and Marlins. Yet in the midst of that, of course, they get the Seattle Mariners, including Sunday Night Baseball in Seattle. So my question is, after all 162 is played, do you think the Mets are battling it out in the wild card round?
Yes.
Really?
They have a really cakewalk next couple weeks, and if they capitalize on it like I think they're going to, it's not gonna be great. And their trade line was like sneaky good. They're like, I don't want them to because the Cardinals are sitting behind the Mets right now, but it's definitely looking like Grimace Mets are going to be that last wild card spot, and I don't like that. But You never know. That's the cool thing about baseball is like you never know what could truly happen. The Diamondbacks could fall off. The Padres probably aren't gonna fall off, but it's really a time can tell.
Yeah. Taking a look at the standings as they currently sit. Let me take a look. Okay. So in the National League, where is my other tab that I was looking at? Where did it go? Why am I blind? Here we go. So as it currently sits, the Phillies and Dodgers would have a bye into the divisional round. It would then be the Braves and the Padres duking it out in the wild card series. And if the Mets were to sneak in, it would be the Brewers versus the Mets. And funny enough, it would, right as it sits now, it would be a rematch of last year's wild card series between the Diamondbacks and Brewers, which is extra hilarious. But yes, yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Padres and Diamondbacks are more talented than the Mets as it currently sits. It's going to be tough. Like we've been saying, the wild card standings are incredibly close. Who do the Mets have the rest of the year? I mean, they got Baltimore, San Diego, and Arizona all in a row. That's going to determine their season.
Agreed.
They have, 6? They have 10 games against those 3 teams. I think they could afford to lose the series against Baltimore since it's an AL team. But they basically have to take 3 or 4 from San Diego and probably sweep Arizona if they want a shot.
I definitely would think so, but
yeah, sorry. They have 2 more series against Philadelphia, a series against Atlanta, and they end the year against Milwaukee just to flesh out their full schedule to end the year.
Mm-hmm. I think they'll make a run, especially because Atlanta, a team that's notably has been pretty good. They just lost Fernando Lopez the 15-day IL, so that's a blow. That's a blow to them. So if they're going to get weaker, Mets stay consistent, the flip flop, which no one expected to see. But I mean, hey, that's why I like baseball.
Yep, I mean, they're only 2 games back of the Braves at this point in the year, so it's not impossible for them to make a little bit of a run here and go get Atlanta. So,
but it's okay. They're going to lose. It's okay. Andre Plante is going to own them tonight, so it's okay.
Sure. You keep telling yourself that. You keep telling yourself Andre Plante is a good starter when he's literally just Matthew Liberatore 2.0.
Yeah. Can't say nothing about that. It's true.
Speaking of the NL Central, we may have a division leader slightly slipping. After taking 2 of 3 from the Cubs a couple weeks ago near the end of July, the Brewers have lost 3 straight series to the Marlins, Nationals, and Braves. They still sit comfortably in the lead in the NL Central, 5.5 ahead against the Cardinals, 6 ahead of the Pirates, 8.5 ahead of the Cubs, 9 ahead of the Reds. So they're still sitting pretty, but they are 4-6 in their last 10. So it could be better for them, but I still think overall they're fine.
Yeah. They had a good deadline. They reinforced the pitching staff. Devin Williams is back. They're only really thing that could keep them out is no Yelich. And I think that's why there was a slight slip off because you lost one of your stars. But the Brewers have a lot of young outfielders. Jackson Chorio, Bryce Perkins, Garrett Mitchell. Who's the other one I'm forgetting?
Wait, Blake Perkins, not Bryce
Blake Perkins. Blake Perkins. South Frelick. Like they still have four. They still have four young outfielders who can rotate through as need be. They're gonna be fine. And also their cushion on over the Cardinals and the Brewers. Not Cardinals and the Pirates. I don't know why I said the Brewers twice. It's like 5.5, 6 games. Like they have messed up really bad, and the Cardinals or the Pirates have to not keep losing. So
Yeah,
neither of those are going to happen. So
yeah, it would be, literally to have to take a 6-game Brewers losing streak and a Cardinals 6 and a Pirates 6-game winning streak for this really to get interesting.
Which that's not happening, FYI. So,
although it's not out of the realm of possibility for the Brewers to have a bad losing streak because they play Atlanta again on the road, Cincy, but then they have 4 against the Dodgers, 3 against the Guardians, and then 3 against the Cardinals in St. Louis. That's a rough stretch. Even as inconsistent as the Reds have been, they still have the second best run differential in the NL Central, which is hilarious.
It's actually quite funny.
Yeah, the run differential goes Brewers plus 79, Reds plus 28, Cubs at 0, Pirates -5, and the team with the worst run differential in the NL Central somehow second with the Cardinals at -42. That's not right. I don't like that.
I don't like that either, but oh well.
They have the 3rd worst run differential in all of the National League. Baseball's weird. I hate it. Anyway, but yeah, the Brewers should be in a relatively good spot, but I think there's some slippage going on, and all of us will gladly see them continue to slide and see good things happen for our teams. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, indeed. I mean, it's great for the Brewers. Like Pat Murphy needs to be in manager of the year consideration.
Oh yeah.
Like at the moment, he's my pick at the moment because at the beginning of the year, everybody's like, oh, this Brewers team, they're not looking great. They're just kind of there. They're like, oh, they'll have like 75 wins. It'll be a drop off, but like the drop off people expected. Nope.
Nah.
First place in the NL Central, 5.5 game lead. Like,
yeah. Although I will say, I'd probably give it to Carlos Mendoza if the Mets make the playoffs. My personal opinion.
He'll be in there. He'll be in the race, and then I don't know who the last manager will be, but I don't really care.
Mike Shildt?
Nope. Next. Oh no! He completely left. Jackson. That's okay. Well, show must go on. I don't like all this, but
Did you kick me out?
no, you did. That was not me.
Okay, sure.
You kicked yourself out. You kicked yourself
that.
out. I did not. But anyways, NLS time. The vision of Mike Shildt. They are the best vision in baseball. I'm just trying to break it to y'all. But after middling for most of the season, the Arizona Diamondbacks, San Diego Padres are finally finding their stride, holding the last 2 NL Wildcard spots, and are respectively 8-2 in their last 10 games. Also, because we didn't mention this in here, shout out to Blake Snell, no hitter against the Reds too.
Thank
At
you.
NL Central, yep, as NL Central fans, we are appreciative of you for that. But when you have good trade deadlines, of course you're going to start winning.
Yeah, and both these teams had a really solid deadline. Obviously, the Diamondbacks, they picked up a couple of former Marlins. They got AJ Puck and Josh Bell. So those are really solid pickups right now, especially with Christian Walker out. And then what are the Padres even? Oh yeah, they got Tanner freaking Scott. What am I doing?
Aaron Scott, Jason Adam, Martin Perez. Who else did they get?
I don't think they really added much in terms of hitting, from what I can recall. They just loaded up on bullpen arms.
Yeah,
which makes sense.
Well,
So,
they overpaid for the bullpen arms, but I mean, yeah.
but hey, they think they can win a World Series, and I think although the Phillies have been kind of sucking right now, they've been 2-8 in their last 10. So I truly think the National League is pretty wide open at this point. So I could see a team like the Padres making another deep run to an NLCS this year, like they did a couple of years ago. As for the Diamondbacks, I think Jordan Montgomery finally had a good start somewhere in this winning ways they've been having. But
yeah,
I think, in all honesty, minus the Brewers being first in the NL Central, I think this is kind of what we were expecting in terms of how the divisions were going to sort out towards the end of the year. Phillies and Braves battling it out for the top of the NL East. Dodgers with a clear padded lead in the NL West, and the Padres and Diamondbacks fighting for the playoffs. Now, we were also hoping the Cubs and Cardinals would be a little bit closer or leading the division, but Pat Murphy and the power of friendship up in Milwaukee is throwing that into a wrench.
Pat Murphy and the power of friendship. Yeah,
but
I'm looking at
go ahead.
Off topic, but I'm looking at the Padres. They only added their pitching staff. They didn't add a single bat.
I mean, they didn't really need to. They got Luis Arias really early in the year. That's all they really needed in terms of hitting.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for how this all sorts out. The Diamondbacks are only a half game back of the Padres. And I mean, there's a crazy world where the Padres could somehow take the lead over the NL West and the Dodgers. They're only 4.5 back. I would laugh my ass off if the Padres or Diamondbacks somehow found the way to take the division from the Dodgers. Force the Dodgers into a wild card against the Braves.
I would like that a lot. It won't happen.
You don't believe in Mike Shildt? Is that what you're telling me? You don't believe Mike Shildt in clutch situations?
Yeah, would be correct. Actually, I don't. I actually quite frankly, I actually have zero hope in Mike Shildt. Does not matter how good of a team he has. Until he proves me wrong. Until he actually does something in the playoffs, hater. And even when he does something, I'm gonna continue to be a hater. You know why? No, he don't deserve it. He don't deserve good things in his life.
Oh man,
I have Shildt PTSD.
You've had a run of really like mid to bad managers since Tony.
I know.
It was Shildt. Was it Shildt, Matheny, Marmol? Is my order correct?
Matheny, Shildt, Marmol.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Mike Matheny, but he got given a great roster from the Russa in 2012, and he didn't do anything with it. So,
yeah. Did he make the World Series in 2013 though? Am I remembering that right, or am I on drugs?
Yeah, he did, but we don't talk about 2013.
Jeff Gaffney is laughing in a corner somewhere.
Yeah, David Ortiz owned us. Matt Carpenter was stupid. Yeah,
That's all right. David Ortiz owned a lot of teams. Don't feel too bad.
I know.
But enough jibber jabbering about all these irrelevant teams. It's time to get to the two most relevant teams in all of baseball. And of course, it's the Chicago Cubs and St. Louis Cardinals. It's time for the first time in 2 weeks. It's State of the Union time.
I'm starting. I'm
Yeah,
starting.
I was gonna let you go first.
Mine's quick. I don't have much to talk about. We had a bad week. Point blank period. It was. We went last week. Look at the record. We started off with a win against Washington. We took 2-3 against Texas, which was nice. We actually scored runs. And then we lost 3-4 against the Cubs. Well, it's close one on Thursday. Should have been 4-4. I think we should have won on Thursday. We should have won on Thursday, but Mike Tauchman was bound to have his one moment a year against the Cardinals. Come on now, we knew that was going to happen.
Yep.
Friday, lost 3-6. I mean, Eric Fetty gave up 5 runs in the second inning, and then figured it out. It is what it is, I guess. We just okay, and then we won Saturday somehow 5-4 because Nico Horner just forgot how to play defense, which yeah, you don't expect that to happen. And then we got kind of embarrassed last night, 6-2. I mean, Miles Milka sucks, and he's still on the hook for like $22 million next year. 8.9, 5.12 ERA. We have pitchers that we just need to bite the bullet on and fucking release. But 57-55, I believe we are 2.5 games out of the wild card and 5.5 back in the division. We have a makeup game today at home against the Mets. And we have 3 games at home against the Rays, the Richie Palacios and Dylan Carlson reunion. Yippee. And then we're at KC for 2, and then we have, which I think is just crazy looking at our off days. We're off on Sunday. And then we're at Cincinnati for 3, and then we're off on next Thursday, and then we play, and then we have the Dodgers at home for 3. So I mean, we need if we can bounce back and have a good week this week, we can take 2 or 3 against Tampa Bay, and if we can take this game against the Mets, that'd be nice. But we're going against Sean Manaea. We don't hit lefties particularly well. Manaea's has 3.56 so far this year. Hoping for the best. 2 games against KC. I mean, KC swept us the first time at home, so hopefully we can take both games. But KC's good. I'm fully expecting just to take 1 of 2. But yeah, we were bound to have one down week, and it just really is unfortunate that this down week that we had is right out the trade deadline, where we got Eric Fetty, Tommy Pham, and Sean Armstrong. So I mean, it's a tale of 2 worlds. We'll see how this league looks. We're not looking great in the wild card standings because other teams are losing and we're also losing, so we're making no progress. We slipped off, but this team wants to win. We have voices in the clubhouse that are very vocal about us wanting to win. So it's we gotta click pieces together, because right now it's not the pitching. Right now it's our offense. Our offense is
mid.
Yeah.
So,
you can take it away now. You can take it away now.
Before I say anything, I just have to remind you of a couple images, at least based off the last 4 games.
You're doing this too. Yep.
There's one, and then here's this one.
And you were real quick throwing that one in the group chat. You were real quick throwing that one.
you best believe you were not able to take advantage of the Ryan Helsley save.
This is the first time you guys have actually won a series against the Cardinals this year. So take your lap.
I will damn well take my lap after a season pretty much steeped in misery this year. Happily take my lap. But the Cubs have had a very Cubs week and a half. I'll put it that way. They took 2 of 3 from the Royals. Feeling pretty good. Kind of roughed up beat Seth Lugo and Cole Reagans in back-to-back days. But lost to Brady Singer because Kyle Hendricks is washed. Stop starting him. God damn it, Craig. But then go into Cincinnati and you get blown out 7-1 and 6-3 before getting your shit together and winning 13-4 in your 6 games under 500. Right at the trade deadline. And I like a lot of the pickups. I like Nate Pearson. But he had like the worst debut of all time. Gives up a bomb, plunks a guy, gets ejected. Finally gets Craig Counsell ejected. Like for like the second or third time all year. The first time I can at least remember. And then the miracle of all miracle comebacks. The Cubs had lost, I read a stat, it was like 53 games in a row when trailing by multiple runs in the 9th, including 40 games this year. It was like, yeah, that tracks, and you just somehow score 3 runs against a top 3 closer in baseball. Sick. Went Friday, win 6-3, destroy Eric Fetty in his debut. Nice. And then
Braden manifests now, so make him on that. So last time they faced Eric Fetty, the Cubs got shelled. So yeah,
not ideal. But you're up. Cubs are up 4-1. I want to say it was the 8th inning? Yeah, it was the 8th inning. They're up 4-1. Isaac Paredes, who he still is better than Christopher Morel III. I will continue to say that. Throws one of the worst, a ball he should have just ate. There was no reason to try and throw the guy out at first. Airmails it. A run scores. I forget how another run scores. It's 4-3.
I think it was
no.
Dansby and PCA both went for a ball.
Or it was Nico and PCA.
Oh.
They try. It looked like Nico had it the entire time. There was 2 outs in the 8th inning. Nico catches that. The Cubs are up 4-2 heading into the 9th and more than likely win. I will say that. More than likely. But no. Nico runs away because he thought he heard PCA call him off. PCA misses it. 2-run score. And then Hector Neris allows Tommy Pham to hit a triple. And Lars Nootbaar gets him in with a sac fly. Cubs do nothing in the 9th against Helsley this time. Don't even get a hit. They had a couple of nice line drives, but that was pretty much it. And they lose. I was like, all right. Cubs I know and love. Love to see it. Blown games. Probably their 26th blown game of the year or something like that. Somewhere in the 20s. And then they win 6-2 yesterday. So, all right. They're in an interesting spot. They're 4 games under 500. They're 6 games out of a wild card spot. 8.5 out of the division. More likely than not making the playoffs. I will fully concede that now. This is probably going to be another lost year, and then we'll see where we go from there. And it's not an easy schedule right out of the gate. You got 3 games against Minnesota. I expect probably to lose this series 2-3 because there's a Kyle Hendricks start and then Javier Assad. Who knows?
I think.
But they're going against Pablo Lopez and Joe Ryan. That's more my it's not necessarily concerned with the Cubs pitching. It's more so with the offense against Pablo Lopez and Joe Ryan. Then you get 2 against the White Sox, where you have the chance to do the funniest thing possible. Please do it. But then 3 games on the road against Cleveland. Probably lose 2 or 3 again because, like, once again, it's Hendricks, Imanaga, and Assad. So pray. And then after that, the schedule gets pretty damn easy. Because there's Toronto, Detroit, Miami, Pittsburgh twice, Washington twice. And then after Pittsburgh the second time, it's the Yankees and Dodgers, which is going to suck. But then it's the Rockies, A's, Washington, Philadelphia, who will more likely have the division locked up at that point, and the first seed. And then you finish the year in Cincinnati. So the problem is that the Cubs have lost all the tiebreakers to the other wild card teams up to this point, even the Giants. So and they don't play any of those teams that are ahead of them throughout the rest, except the Pirates. The Pirates are the only team ahead of the Cubs that they actually play down the stretch. So it's going to take a lot if the Cubs want to somehow leapfrog 5 teams to make the playoffs. I don't see it happening. I think they can get very close. I think they could end up being like 3 or 4 games out when it's all said and done. But a 25-33 record on the road, oh my God, I can't talk. A lot of blown games this year where if you split it in half, the Cubs are an easy division and wild card favorite. So that's just the state of the Cubs. I like some of them a lot, but this has just been a disappointing season from start to finish. That's all I got.
I'd second that. I mean, it has been disappointing. It's cool that you guys did get to beat up on the Cardinals a little bit. It's always nice for Cubs fans. But I don't blame you. I mean, both our teams are in an interesting spot. It's kind of clear that it's a down year for the Cubs. Like, you know, it is what it is. It happens. But this is going to make you guys' offseason very interesting. Does Cody come back? You guys going to trust the young guns? Because, I mean, Shaw and Chiantos are in AAA now.
And Alcantara.
So it's like you guys, it's not like you guys like don't have prospects. You guys got a good farm. So you trust the youth movement. You try to bring in some vets. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, it's tough because you have a mix. What does this team feel like? It feels like some of the teams I've seen in the past who have tried to make a rebuild with young players work at the same time while trying to be competitive with a lot of vets. You know, this reminds me of the 2019 Chicago Bears. That's exactly what it reminds me of. Trying to bank on some young guys while also having a championship caliber defense. That's kind of where it is. There's some veteran pitchers that who knows what you're going to do with Jameson Taillon. Are you going to bring back Hector Neris? But they also got a lot of really good young guys, and Justin Steele. Cade Horton still hasn't made his MLB debut yet. And Assad and Wicks have been at least decent in spurts. But then you have Imanaga and Cody Bellinger and Dansby Swanson. We're on the older side. So it's going to be a very, very interesting offseason and rest of this season, to say the least.
Agreed. But hey, we got to win. We'll win another week. We'll check back in on our teams next week. We'll see where we're at, because every week's a different week.
That is that feels like the understatement of the year when it comes to the Cubs and Cardinals this week. One week
No,
you
seriously.
look like a World Series contender. The next week you look like you could barely beat the White Sox or A's this year.
Hey, St. Louis lost 2 or 3 games against the White Sox in May. By the way, we'll like to put that on record. We did do that.
Hey, the Cubs haven't lost to the White Sox yet this year. The word is yet.
The word is yet. The Cubs could do the funniest thing ever. But you know who? You know, if the Cubs are going to do the funniest thing ever, Craig Counsell is going to be the guy that spearheads it.
What a transition to that ad. Shout out to you. Credit all to you.
I got us. I got us. I was gonna. We had to click a little bit at the end, but
Yeah,
I don't got anything. I don't got anything else. I'm just. It's a world that we live in where the Cardinals are probably going to keep losing, and then we're going to go into the offseason. Everyone's going to be like, man, what's this team going to do? We're going to do the same fucking shit. We're going to sort of buy, sort of sell, because we're a small market team, and we don't have voodoo magic no more. And it's
and Paul Goldschmidt by the end of the year will probably have played his last game in St. Louis.
I it hurts to say, but I can't wait. Alex Biscuit Burleson is our future at first base.
I was gonna say, is it biscuit season? Is that what you're telling me?
It's biscuit season. And then we'll sign a vet to the league minimum to back him up. But it's biscuit season.
If my MLB The Show franchise with the Cubs tells me anything, it's gonna be Joey Gallo.
Wouldn't mind that, actually.
And I'm dead ass like Joey Gallo.
Matt Carpenter retires, and we sign Joey Gallo for 1 year. For 1 year. Make it happen. Make it happen, Mo. Make it happen, Chain. It's gonna be Chain Bloom. Mo's gonna get fired at the end of the year. Just FYI, guys. Money Mo's gonna be gone, and it's gonna be great. And hopefully Steven Matz gets DFA'd next week too, because supposedly Steven Matz will come back, and I hope he gets DFA'd. Fingers crossed.
Wow, what did Steven Matz do?
I'll tell you what Steven Matz did. Oh yeah, I can look it up on my laptop. Hold on, guys. I'll tell you what Steven Matz did. You know what Steven Matz did? You know what Steven Matz? This is gonna be my last words. Steven Matz. What does Steven Matz do? You say, huh? A 6.18 ERA. That's what Steven Matz did.
Wait, what was the ERA again? Did I have a
6.18 in 27 innings?
Fair enough.
That's what Steven Matz did. Anyways, that's all I got.
And that's honestly enough for one day. Thank you everyone who hopped in and watched with us today. We really appreciate all of y'all, men and women, boys and girls, and anything in between. Thank you all for watching. We'll go ahead and we'll be back next week with more recapping of this strange sport that we love called baseball. So with all that said, we will see y'all next week.